day because we have a typhoon in Visayas and Mindanao. Introducing our solar panels. We place them on top of the roof, although it's guarded from the rain. The downside when you're using solar panels, whether it's small or large solar panels, is that when it's raining, it will take so much time to fill up your batteries. Instead of having to charge it for 10 hours, 20-watt battery would be charged for, let's say, 2 days or 3 days under a rainy season. So the downside of the renewable is when it's raining, it's difficult to charge. Another downside of the renewable, especially in the Philippines, is that when there's a typhoon, it is very vulnerable to destruction, or it will take maintenance costs just to prevent it from being destroyed. This week on The Economist, February 2026, 2021, America's Better Future, No Carbon and No Blackouts. The World This Week Business. What's on the menu? This is a very interesting article. An Israeli startup that is developing 3D printers for meat undertook a successful fundraising round that will allow it to distribute its products to restaurants this year. Redefine Meat combines 3D meat modeling, food formulations, and food printing to build the complex matrix meat on its machine, made from proteins found in legumes and grains and fat from plants. The steaks resemble the texture and taste of choice cuts of beef, but with no cholesterol. Bill Gates this week called on rich countries to switch to 100% synthetic beef in order to lower greenhouse gas emissions from the cattle industry. Briefing, Decarbonizing America. So there's a switch. America has done too little to fight rising temperatures. Joe Biden wants to change that. It says that the Democratic governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, wants her state's emission in 2030 to be at least 45% below their level in 2005, which given the recent oil boom means about 60% less than what they were in 2018. Across the state, solar farms are being set up to harness the abundant sunshine, and charging points provided for electric cars, just the sort of initiatives Mr. Biden is seeking to accelerate as he aims to turn the American economy away from fossil fuels once and for all. In January, the president signed an executive order calling for the country to reduce its net greenhouse gas emissions to zero by 2050. And to that end, he wants the electricity sector to be emissions-free by 2035. Angelica Rubio, a New Mexico state representative who has relatives working on oil and gas projects in the Permian Basin, acknowledges local resistance to Mr. Biden's decarbonization goals. It is drastic, she says, but this is the road map we need to take. So the problem is made worse by the fact that some conservative Democrats have their own reservations. Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, says that he supports climate action, but he rejects the idea that coal, the dirtiest fossil fuel, might be permanently removed from the world's energy portfolio. Get into reality, he says. It's not going to be eliminated. The fact that Senate is split 50-50 between the parties means that even with Vice President Kamala Harris casting vote, Mr. Manchin is, in effect, has a veto over legislation. In this chart, we can see a great leap forward. United States installed electricity capacity. So, this is the solar on top, and then the wind, and they also have hydro, nuclear, and then gas and coal. A forecast. So this is their forecast. Moving on, where did the gas come from? So carbon dioxide emissions, based on this chart, is mostly from China, US, and EU. United States greenhouse gas emission by sector as of 2018 percentage is heavy in transport of light vehicles, heavy vehicles, aircraft, and others. So the main source of their CO2 emission is from transport. Next is electricity, industry, commercial and residential, and agriculture. This is how the renewable energy sites in the contiguous United States will look like as a forecast for 2020. This is 2020, and this is the 2035 forecast. And in 2020, in 2050, they have more onshore wind, offshore wind, and solar sources of renewable energy. By 2050, the expansion of transmission and renewable would be truly prodigious. At that point, onshore wind and solar farms would span some 600,000 square kilometers, an expanse slightly smaller than two New Mexicos but slightly larger than Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois combined, and even that it is in itself enough. So this is how it will look like in the United States based on their plans today. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.